Is it Illinois that you guys are banned in because of your melting point? What
Yes.
in the actual...
The handguns in particular, it's the handguns. It's an old leftover Senate special law. Yeah, that's all it is, because some of those guns were made from pot metal, Senate specials. But now because it's, oh God, here we go. I'm trying to think the best way to even talk about this. So yes, our slides are ZMAX. So yes, you get them hot enough, they will melt. Watch Eric's 88's got a really old video where they threw it in a cast iron pot outside and cooked it. And yeah, he got it hot enough, the ZMAX slide melted. So yes, it will melt. But the dumbest thing about that law, every polymer frame gun will melt at that same point. So it's like, what the shit? It's like, Illinois, you guys, we can't change this law. You guys have to change it, Illinois. You got to fix it. But it's been around for a long time. And okay, so could we technically still sell everything to Illinois? Sure, we could. Is that opening up us for a ton of lawsuits in the state of Illinois? Yeah. And honestly, the same could happen to Glock and Smith & Wesson. But you know what? They have a little more bankroll to fight that kind of shit than we do. We're not getting into that. We don't want to be subjected to that. So, I mean, it sucks like our lifetime warranty. If they send it in, a pistol, they can't get that back because we can't legally send it back to Illinois. Legally. Like I said, do other manufacturers, they still do it? Sure. Now, Illinois dealers, they can still buy our products if they have an online store, because then they're selling it out of state, potentially. But at that point, it's out of our hands. They're allowed to do that. But yeah, it's an ancient law on melting point from Saturday Night Specials that really and truly every polymer damn gun out there will melt in that shit. It's ignorant.
What is the whole point of it? What is the whole point of the melt? Who's sticking, well, okay, I'm going to say who's sticking their gun in the oven, but you never know with some people. But yeah.
Well, because they'll do it with Hi-Points because it's cheap enough, and they'll be like, I'm going to test this thing out because it was only $200. I get that. I get the ridiculous torture we get to our guns for that reason. Nobody's going to buy their Glock, their cherished favorite Glock or HK, whatever, and try and melt the damn frame. Yes, it'll melt. It's f***ing plastic. Yeah, it's going to melt, But no, it's just an ancient, ignorant law. Like, come on, look at how many gun laws actually have any logic to them.
None of them.
They don't, exactly. So this is the same thing. It just somebody saw this back in the day. Obviously, was like, man, that'll probably melt it. I don't know, whatever, a couple hundred degrees that it is. Yeah. So no, it's there. We do not sell our handguns in the state of Illinois. Carbines are okay because they're a rifle. It's not a pistol. So yeah, it's for real.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What other, are you guys on all the rosters, or is there some rosters you're not on besides Illinois?
That's that's probably the most restrictive one. New York is still a mess. Like, even lawyers are like, we're not touching this one. So there's gun shops that will get our guns in. They'll sell them. They'll get like the state compliant models. And our lawyers are like, it's very gray because they're wording. So we recommend not selling the stuff in New York. California, it's just a mixed bag. Like, you can still get some of the handguns and the carbines. California's actually lightened up a little bit because they had the microstamping thing for the longest time where you couldn't get anything new in. I think that actually got defeated or dropped off.
Yeah.
So we're looking at trying to get more of our guns into California. I'm trying to think. There's another New England state that's a little weird. You can't sell it in their state until like a dealer basically has to order one in and get it, and they submit something themselves to the state, and the state says, okay, then it's fine. It's good. Like Maryland, I think, was a little weird like that. I can't recall off the top of my head. But yeah, Illinois, New York, California, by far the worst.
This will be the last thing we'll talk about before we close out the show. So torture testing of your guns. There's so many videos of people just beating the absolute daylights out of them and just proving that Hi-Points are so much better built than what people perceive.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, now it's gotten the last couple of years, guys come up at SHOT Show. I think it was last year. Guy come up and he goes, hey, I want to shoot the C9 or YC9, whichever one. He goes, I want to shoot it 1,000 yards. And I went, it's been done. Guy was like, what? I said, yeah, a guy sent me a video. The guy's not a YouTuber by any means, so his video was very, very rough. But he shows you this one giant, long, 45-minute take. He shoots and hits a balloon at 1,000 yards with a handgun, out in the deserts of Nevada somewhere. So he did it. So I was like, yeah, it's been done, man. I was like, could somebody with more following, bigger production be a cooler event? Sure. And he's like, oh, no. You misunderstand me. And I was like, okay. He goes, I'm a long range, high precision shooter. I was like, okay. He goes, I want to shoot your high point. I was like, oh. He goes, yeah, I want to use the C9 as my target. And I went, have a nice day. I was like, what? I said, dude, if you come up to me and tell me you want to intentionally destroy my product, I'm going to tell you to take a hike. Get out of my booth and don't waste my time. Like, that's stupid, man. I was like, anybody can destroy anything. Like, most torture tests are just beyond stupid anyways. It's like, show what the average persons do with their gun to maybe an extreme, and now guess what? It's going to hold up just fine. Or you're going to find a failure point that most people will never have in their lifetime of the firearm. Of any brand, for the most part. You know what I mean? So, yeah, torture tests are just, they're dumb. Even with AR ones, I think they're just dumb. Like, it's just so unrealistic.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Wait, Dave, you don't drag your high point behind your truck in the desert? What do you mean, dude?
No, never. I've seen what was one guy. He was shooting it and then he threw it at a steel target. And the angle he hit right, so it cracked the frame at the trigger guard. And it was like he called me up and he goes, "Yeah, I broke my high point." I was like, "What'd you do?" Threw the steel target, and I went, "Why'd you do that?" See what would happen. I was like, "And?" Well, the frame broke, and I went, "Yeah." Shocker, dude. Mass against a solid object. I was like, "What do you expect to happen, dude? Well, you guys can repair it?" Like, yeah, we'll repair it. I'm like, but you're a dumb. Like, come on, man.